not going to Gen Con, but maybe you could help me if you are. Due to reasons which involve the sun being covered by a galactic planetoid-shaped object, aka the moon, in what is being called a total eclipse.
Of the heart.
Not really the heart. But Steve and I won't be able to make it to Gen Con this year, which makes me feel kind of awful, actually. I really do enjoy doing the Gen Con vlogs. They kind of were like, they were the first thing I did on this channel, and it feels really weird. And while I've had several moments basically every day where I'm just like, that Chicago flight is boarding right now. I could easily go to Chicago, catch a flight to Indianapolis from Chicago. I'd be at Gen Con plenty of time. I could help some people set up booths, get a badge, maybe crash on a hotel floor. Just have to use points to change the air flight. Steve would be fine with the dogs and my family and his family and, you know, the whole sun being covered by the moon.
I would eventually forgive you.
What? I've decided it's probably best if I just don't go to Gen Con. So, because I'm not going to Gen Con, I'm not going to be able to film the vlogs, which makes me really bummed, because a lot of people have outreached and said that over the years that my footage and vlog coverage of convention is the only way that they get to experience Gen Con or Essen or just other cons due to financial reasons, time reasons, or some folks just have disabilities that restrict them from going, or just a variety of reasons as to why they can't make it, and they live vicariously through my vlogs, and I love providing that chance for folks. So I'm very bummed that I don't get to do it this year. However, I am 100% still capable of editing footage. So what I need is help from you, if you are going to Gen Con, to film your experience at Gen Con. Now, it's not just willy-nilly filming. You actually have, there's like a process to the TheOneTAR vlog, all right? So first of all, you don't need a fancy camera. Yes, I'm recording on a GoPro. Yes, I have a fancier camera, but honestly, some of those shots are just shot with my cell phone camera. Make sure when you're filming with your cell phone camera, film landscape, not portrait. This is important. Landscape. Yes. If you do have a nicer camera, that's great. Just make sure that your settings are set to 1080p, 30 frames a second. And if your camera is too fancy and you don't know what that means, please Google it. Because if your footage is the wrong orientation or the wrong frames per second, I can't do anything with it. Otherwise, the general formula for a TheOneTAR video would be the good morning internet. Good morning internet. Good morning. Good morning internet. Good morning internet. So if you could film a good morning internet at the very least, that would be super great. Another thing is game montages, right? So these are just short clips of key actions of a game's functionality or mechanics, interesting moves. All be told, a game montage that's about 30 seconds to a minute. I usually only have around 2 minutes of footage. I'm pretty precise with the filming of game footage. I don't just film the entire game. Hall walkthroughs, I found those are really hard unless you can be really steady with your camera, so maybe not need to worry about those as much, but if you want to give it a shot, go ahead. Let's see, what else is there? There's the talking about what is happening around you and doing like the visual update of where you are in the con and how stuff is going. There's that.
Talking about what you're going to do?
Talking about what you're going to do. So if you're going to go to an event and then you're going to film clips of that event, so you kind of like set up the scene on what you're going to be doing, and then you have the clips of the scene that show you what you're doing. So yeah, but you know, if you want to film some stuff, I am totally down to edit. I politely request that nobody send in more than like 5 minutes of footage, because I want to have enough time to get everybody's footage kind of incorporated and mixed together. I've never done this kind of edit job, but I'm really excited to try it. If you go a little bit over 5 minutes in your raw footage, that's fine. I just don't want like 30 minutes of footage from everyone. So maybe 5 minutes a day if we want to do multiple days. Just gonna kind of see how it goes. But again, you can totally just film with your cell phone video. Just make sure if you're doing selfie mode with your camera, the trick that I do is I actually cover my phone so I can't see my reflection, but the camera is still pointed at me, and so I'm looking at the camera hole and covering my reflection with my hand so I don't stare at myself. So that's my trick there. Also, when I hold the phone that way, it holds it a little steadier than if I tried to hold it this way. Same way if I'm filming with the camera on the back of the phone, I hold it like this because it's more steady than holding like this. What else is there?
How far to film when you're filming a game?
Well, just make sure that it's focusing. If you're filming a game with your phone, make sure that it's focused and you're not right up in the miniatures. But you want to make sure that you're close enough that you can understand and focus in on what it is you are trying to film.
Also, if you are filming if you want to film other people, definitely ask their permission first. If you're playing a game with other people and they don't want to be filmed, maybe ask if it's okay if you can film the game.
Their hands.
Not them, but
that is extremely important, and that is one thing. So as a member of the press, when I go to conventions, I have a press badge, which means that I am allowed to film, and by owning a badge and by signing up and buying a badge for Gen Con, you have actually agreed to be filmed by members of the press and those with photo clearance. So because you would be filming for me, and if you're not members of the press, you don't have that filming luxury. So make sure, unless you're filming in a crowd situation where nobody can be clearly picked out, you ask the people around you if it's okay to film. Even though I do have that press clearance, I still ask people before I play any game with anyone. I think the only other part of a TheOneTAR vlog video would be the good night internet at the end of the day/night. So if at the very least you want to film a good night and a good morning internet for me every day, that would be super awesome. I don't know how many people are going to be willing to film or capable of filming, so I'm going to go into this assuming I'll be making daily videos for Gen Con, but don't worry about uploading them at the convention. We'll have time like the week and the week after Gen Con to go home, upload your content, and then I'll edit it then. So don't feel rushed. I will have a deadline for those videos. Deadline will be down in the doobly-doo from when you upload them to the Dropbox, which is linked down in the doobly-doo. Make sure that your file name for your clips is your name that you would like video credits for filming the thing with. Also, the day of Gen Con that footage is from. So day 1, day 2, etc., etc. No day 0 footage, please. Let's see, what else is there? I think that's basically it. All the other information that's important if you're filming at Gen Con will be down in the doobly-doo. Thank you very much if you're willing to film, and I am super excited to edit and see what Gen Con looks like from the perspective of all the people that are sending in footage. I think this is a fun experiment. Maybe I'll end up doing this in the future, even if I am going to Gen Con. I think this will work out.
I would eventually forgive you.
What?
Nothing.